Hi, my love. It's your big sister auntie friend checking back in. Welcome back. I love you so much. Please don't ever leave me. If you're new here, welcome. On this episode, we're going to talk a little bit about what we finished our last episode on, which was showing up in the world as the person that we may have needed, especially for those of us who really struggled in childhood, right? Um, I have a lot of pain specifically from my early childhood, um, and it affected my early childhood development. And I try and take time out to talk to my younger self to make sure that I'm addressing her needs, um, and just kind of showing up in the world again as the person that she may have needed, not only to heal her and strengthen my relationship with her, but to also be a light for others, right? There's so much about my life that was so difficult. And if I had had someone show up in my life to maybe say something to me or just hold space for me, things might have been a little bit easier. That might have been a light that I needed at the time to kind of see me through. And don't get me wrong, we talked a lot about how pain can be a great teacher, about how, you know, struggle is necessary because it really does build resilience within us. And it's just unavoidable. So I know that, the things that I've went through have really put me on a good path to be able to have the resiliency and the strength that I have today. However, even though it did build my character, it still would have been nice, right, to have someone around to be able to say, hey, things are going to get better. You're going to get through this. It was so confusing and so big and so scary. And so, yeah, I just want to give an example of what it might look like. I've had a lot of questions within the collective about how we have conversations with our inner child, how we can even reach our inner children. And I'm just going to give you an example of what works for me, of what I do. And yeah, I hope that's helpful because it has been really the foundation. It's been like the first block to the really strong foundation I've built for myself. I really anchor myself in when I start to lose myself in who is it that I can show up as right now in the world that would help my inner child feel safe, that she would be inspired by, or that she would be proud of. And that sense of safety and stability that I can give her in showing up as that person has really catapulted me into this healing journey. And it really, again, anchors me when I feel like I am floating away, so to speak. So, yeah, this next part will be an example of the questions that I sit and ask myself, or the questions that I allow rather for my inner child to ask me. I think it's important to allow them to take the lead. Again, this is just the way that I work, and I hope it's helpful. So, stick around. And yeah, I love you. I'll be back. Give me 1 second. Okay, so we're back. Me and my inner child. You can say hello if you want.
Hi, guys.
And we're just going to have a little bit of a conversation today, right?
Yep.
So it's a safe space. And yeah, I hope that you guys get something out of this. This is like a typical conversation that I have with my inner child. So I'm so happy that you are here with me today.
And I'm happy to be here.
Awesome. So whenever you're ready, we can go ahead and get started, okay?
That's fine with me.
Perfect.
First question. Are we safe?
Yes, we are safe. Um, you know, that doesn't mean that the world isn't scary, right? But it does mean that we have really worked hard to heal a lot of the pain that we have gone through. Um, and we have people around us now who are safe, right?
Yep.
I think one of the biggest things and one of the best things about being an adult too is that you really get to choose who you want to have in your life, right?
Yeah.
Um, and also I think just being able to get up and leave a situation if you want to is really important. And I think you don't really get to do that when you're a child, right?
Yeah.
So that's been one of the biggest things for us is that I'm sure you don't understand what agency or autonomy means, but it means that we have a choice, right?
Yeah.
So if we want to leave something, or if we don't want to speak to somebody, or if we want to go out and make money, so that we can afford to go someplace or to buy ourselves something nice, we don't have to wait on anyone to do that. And we are a safe space,
Yeah.
because we really worked hard to heal a lot of the things that we were going through, a lot of the bad things that happened to us. And it does feel safe. And just being able to have the choice feels safe because we've picked really good people to be around. And even if those people and times that those people haven't been good, we have the choice to leave. And I think that's really an exciting thing about being a grown up?
Yeah. And that's a really good answer to answer that question.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Next question. What is something you want me to know?
Hmm. That's a big one. That makes me kind of emotional
Mm-hmm.
because I wish we had all day
Yeah.
because there's a lot of things I wish that you knew, right?
Yeah.
I think kind of going back to the first question, I want you to know that we are safe, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I want you to know that not everything in life is so big and so scary?
Yeah.
Um, we go to Disneyland a lot.
You really do.
And that's fun, right? That's a beautiful thing about being an adult is we get to take ourselves and make good friends. We worked at Disneyland for a little bit. And that's something that I think is important for you to know is that life isn't always right now everything's out of your control because you're a child, but one day you will have some sense of safety and control. And I know I answered that a little bit in the first question, but I just want you to know that the world isn't always scary,
Yeah.
and that you are very brave and good things do happen to us. The world can be a really beautiful place and we get to see that. And it's not everything feels so big right now as a
Yeah.
child, and I know that. But in the bigger picture, when you get older, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I am now, um, there's so much about life that is really, really special. And you are really, really special. And the world is lucky to have you, right?
Yeah.
And in turn, you're lucky to have the world because it is beautiful, but you do belong. And we will find the fun in life? And again, it's just not all so big and scary. And there's something to hold on for, right?
Yeah.
I just would like you to know that everything that feels big right now won't feel so big later,
Yeah.
and that you are special, and that life really can be beautiful. And I want you to hold on for that. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Third question. Do our dreams come true?
Yeah. Um, some of them.
Yeah.
The funny thing about dreams is that they change,
Yeah.
right? Uh, we used to want to be a veterinarian really bad, but that didn't happen. But because that dream changed.
Yeah.
Again, we talked a little bit earlier about we always loved Disneyland
Yeah.
and we got the chance to work there.
Mm-hmm.
We always wanted to see the world. I know you're fascinated with like airports and hotels and traveling and all these things. And the great thing about that is that we become a flight attendant. So, a big part of our life is spent traveling the world and
Yeah.
seeing it and seeing different people and trying different food and, getting to experience different cultures and languages. And that is a really beautiful thing. So, yeah, those dreams came true. Right now, I know mom is not really in a position where she's super healthy, but eventually that does work out and she gets better. And we work on our relationship with her because of all the work that we've done on ourselves. And,
Mm-hmm.
we have beautiful nieces and nephews. We get the opportunity to see a lot of things. And so, yeah, I mean, overall, yes, dreams change all the time. And we have really paved a way. We've made a way for those things to happen for us, and we find good things in life, you know? I think the biggest thing for us was traveling the world and again working at Disneyland and having all the experiences, you know?
Yeah,
And so yeah, overall the answer is yes.
that's nice to know.
Yes. Yes.
Fourth question. Where do we find happiness?
Hmm. That's another big one, right?
And guess what? We can always do hard things.
That's right. I'm so happy that you know that and that you remember that. Because I think that is a hard question to answer, right?
Yeah,
But thank you for reminding me that I'm brave and I can do big things, you know, and do hard things. I think that happiness isn't something that you get to have and hold in your hands, right?
yeah,
It's not like a Lego piece that you get to carry with you. It's something that you have to create, right?
yeah,
So even just being able to be here with you is happiness for me, you know?
yep,
Getting to have my favorite snack is happiness to me. The things that we talked about earlier, the places, the people, the things, those are all happiness to me. But, you know, remembering that taking care of us is what makes me happy, right?
yeah,
Whether it's taking a shower or whether it's meditating or, you know, being with our family and people that we love. Um, those things are happiness, you know.
yeah,
Sitting in nature, we really love nature still.
we really do.
That doesn't change. Uh, we love nature. So sitting in nature and just, you know, it rained today, sitting by the window and having, you know, our coffee and listening to the rain, that makes us happy, right?
Yeah,
I think an important thing to know is that when you're little, you feel like happiness is something that you'll get to have and keep forever, right?
yeah,
And in a way, we do get to have and keep it forever, but we have to find it. And sometimes we have to create happiness, and it's not something that will always naturally come to us. But there's happiness in all things, you know?
yeah,
That's been a really big lesson for us to learn. But yeah, we creating happiness is one of our favorite hobbies now.
it really is. Fifth question. Why do we feel pain?
Whoa. That's a huge one, isn't it?
A real, real huge one.
Yeah. But like you said, we can be brave and we can do big things, right?
Yeah,
You know, one thing that I've learned is I don't really understand why we feel pain,
mm-hmm.
right? However, I know that through pain, it has allowed us to help others, right?
Yeah,
Because pain is not something that we can stop, and pain is something that everybody experiences, right?
yeah,
Whether it's physical pain, getting hurt, or having our heart broken, you know, um, we all feel pain at some point, and the fact that we have experienced so much pain,
yeah,
it makes us a really good person, you know, because when people around us feel pain, when our nieces, our nephews, you know, our mom, our sister, when they feel pain, our friends, they can come to us and we really understand what it feels like. So we give really good advice.
yeah,
People really find safety in us
yeah,
because we can really understand what their pain is like, right?
mm-hmm.
So it makes us a really good friend. It makes us a really good sibling. It makes us a really good family member.
Yeah,
And I think that's the beautiful part about pain. Maybe that's why we feel pain so that we can be we can show up and be a better person for people, right?
yeah,
And in a lot of ways, I think that makes the world a better place, don't you?
mm-hmm.
So that's the answer I have right now. Maybe that'll change later, but for today,
Mm-hmm.
I hope that that helps you understand that all the things that you're going through they'll put you in a place where you'll be able to help a lot of people later,
Yeah,
you know?
mm-hmm. Sixth question. What's fun about being an adult?
Ooh, girl. We talked about that earlier, right? Like the fact that I could get on a plane right now and
Yeah,
go to Disneyland and no one can stop me.
yeah,
That's pretty fun,
that's real fun.
you know? The fact that if I choose to have, don't tell anybody this, But if
Mhm.
I choose to have Dr. Pepper for breakfast, I can and no one can stop me.
Yeah.
That's pretty fun, right?
Yep.
We shouldn't, and we don't do that too often because it's not great for us.
And it's not good for our body, and we should always be drinking water first.
That's right. But sometimes we get to treat ourselves, and sometimes that's a beautiful thing about being an adult, right?
Yeah.
Is that we get to just make choices for ourselves and we get to really it's fun to be able to have the freedom to be able to create your own life,
Yeah.
right? Um I think it's fun to be able to, like I said, go out and take a walk, um, get on a plane and go anywhere in the world if we wanted to, right?
Mhm.
Um, those are fun things. That's the fun thing about being an adult. And I think also being able to heal is fun, you know?
Yeah.
Being a child is so scary because you depend on other people all the time to do things for you.
Mhm.
But as an adult, you get to do things for yourself. And healing can be fun because we get to make that choice. And
Mhm.
there's so much information now, you know, with our phones and the internet, and being able to learn about ourselves has been really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my answer for that one.
And that's a really good answer.
Thank you.
7th question. Are we lonely?
No, we're not lonely.
How come?
I know that's something that you worry about a lot,
Yeah.
right? And I understand that
Mhm.
because again, the world can be pretty lonely.
Scary.
Yeah, scary. And it can feel like we're alone when we're scared,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
But we make really good choices. We're a really good person, you know?
Yeah.
And good things have a way of finding good people. And that's not to say that bad things don't, right? But we
Mhm.
learn from them, and that's a blessing to have learned from bad things, and then good things also come too, right? We make really good choices now about the people that we keep in our lives.
Mhm.
And you know, us being by ourselves, sometimes we're alone,
Yeah.
but we're not lonely.
And how come?
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
Right? It sounds kind of confusing, right? Like to be alone and not lonely
Yeah.
because we really like ourselves,
Mhm.
you know, and we're really working on the things that maybe are not so great, right?
Yeah.
When I choose to have Dr. Pepper in the morning for breakfast and I don't feel great,
Yeah.
um, then we really work on those things and we really tell ourselves, I hear your voice say, hey, we should have some water now, right?
Yeah.
And working on those things, it makes us feel safe with ourselves, you
Mm.
know?
Mhm.
We feel protected and cared for
Yeah.
um, by ourselves because I have you know, you inside, and you're always telling me in my heart.
Yeah.
And just choosing good people, right? Having people around us that are good people, excuse me, but also being in a position where we really have made a life for us that is safe,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
We when we're alone, we have our crystals and our meditation, and we have our smoke cleansing, and we have all of our favorite things, you know, our favorite blanket, and we've really created that space for ourselves, right? Where we feel safe
Mhm.
around the things and in our own space. So even when we're alone, we don't feel lonely and it doesn't feel scary, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm learning this concept where it's this idea, right? That's what concept means. It's like an idea that there's family of origin, which means the family that you don't choose, the family that you're given by God or your creator, right?
Mhm.
And then the family of creation. So, family of origin is the ones you can't choose, family of creation is the ones you can. And we choose really good people eventually, you
Yeah.
know? And we have really good friends, and the relationships that we have in our lives are good ones. And it's because we've really worked on ourselves. So that's a long way to say that we're definitely not lonely. So don't worry about that, okay?
Yeah.
All right.
8th question. How do we feel about our life?
Ooh, that's also a big one.
Extremely big one.
But we feel happy, you know,
Yeah.
because we create happiness and we create safety for ourselves, right?
Mhm.
And when scary things come, we're still brave.
Yeah.
We've always been brave, haven't we?
Mhm.
But we're still brave, and we're creating our own happiness, and we're making sure that we feel safe and we have all of our comfort things,
Yeah.
and we have good people around us, and we are a good person.
Mm-hmm.
So overall, we're pretty happy, you know?
Yeah.
Even when bad things happen, we know that we're going to get through them.
Mm-hmm.
And we know that we're good people and things work out for us, you know?
Yeah.
We have really strong faith that things will be good. And that belief really makes us strong, you know? And it really makes us feel good about life and the people that we are,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
We're very blessed. We're very blessed. And life is good, you know?
Yeah, life is real good.
Life is really good. And it's really something exciting to look forward to. And I think to end out the conversation, one thing that I want you to remember is that I know life gets really dark. I know that it isn't always kind, you know?
Yeah.
And it can be scary and lonely, right? Especially when you're little and the world seems so big.
Mm-hmm.
But I want you to remember that you're special,
Yeah.
okay? And you're brave and you're kind and you are good. And there's a reason that you have been brought into this world. And I want you to keep going, okay? Because there's so many things to look forward to in the future. And something that I say all the time and I want you to remember is that the world is really less if you're not in it. So sometimes I know you feel like you want to leave because the world is too big and too scary,
Yeah.
but you are also big and brave, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And your kind heart and your goodness, it will see you through and you will be happy. And there's lots out there that you should be excited to see. So this time won't last forever. And I've got you. And we're going to be good. Okay?
Okay.
I love you.
I love you too.
Thanks for hanging out with me.
You're welcome.
I'll be seeing you soon, I'm sure, okay?
Oh, we will be seeing more of each other.
That's right. Okay, well, I love you very much again.
I love you very much too.
Thank you. And on that note, I think that we'll see everybody on the next episode, right?
Yep.
All right. Do you have anything to say to them?
I would love to say I hope you I hope you do the right thing about when you see and hear this video. I hope you feel good about yourself and you do good things and you have a great life.
It's a good one. You're so kind. That's awesome. Well, that being said, to your big sister, auntie, friend, and little me,
Yep.
signing off. We love you so much, and we'll see you soon.
Okay, see you
All
soon.
right, bye.
Bye.